I will get started talking about video. So this is obviously not the first time you're hearing it. Like everybody's talking about it all the time. I preach about it constantly, so you may already be annoyed with me talking about it, but the difference between what a lot of past video content has been about is been really focused on what to talk about or what to do in your video or how to shoot a video, that kind of thing, but less about what happens after you shoot the video. And the reason I actually wanted to teach this is obviously everyone in the office heard about Lead Extreme, and we just wrapped that up, but that was a big video, is a big topic in there. And that's when it kind of dawned on me that I'm like, we're always talking about, here's what to talk about, but not what to do with it after. So this class is kind of going to be split into 3 sections. So the first section is going to be about editing apps and what I recommend, their different, best uses, things like that. So that'll just be discussion period. I'm not going to share my screen because it's all app based. The second section is going to be where to host and why to host. And what I mean by that is once you've filmed your videos, where are they going? They shouldn't just be sitting saved in your phone or saved in your files. There are places for them. And then the last topic that I'm going to touch on is the social media side of things, what the different social medias are best for, how to utilize them, how to work with them together. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So the first section I wanted to talk about was editing apps. So when it comes to editing, the biggest tip I can give is just download and play with them. There's no like perfect way to teach them because it truly is all about getting used to the functionality and messing around with it. And the thing is too, with a lot of these, you can make as many as you want, you can practice as much as you want. They don't just like automatically go somewhere, so you don't have to worry about the world seeing them. Like they're not suddenly on YouTube or anything like that. But the couple that I'm going to touch on, the first one is called InShot. Have any of you heard of it? Have any of you used it?
No.
Okay.
And this is an editing app, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
And all these ones I'm talking about are free. I am a huge I am a huge proponent of saving you money in free things. I like free things. So so InShot is actually a Tanya favorite. I had never even used it. Tanya had used it before I did. So if you see some of her videos, a lot of the time it's her doing like a selfie video. She edits them using InShot almost all the time. So InShot, like I said, is free. And I would say its best uses are if you want to have some fun. Like if you want to like really jazz up your videos, I'm going to show you a few examples at the end here, and I'll show you a Tanya InShot video because she has fun with it. And that's what I really like about it is, especially with video marketing, I think it's good to have a mix, to have the professional, your listing videos where you're showing, look at this 2-level oven. I don't know what those are called. That's not my area of expertise. But so you can have your nice, your beautiful, your professionally shot ones, but then it's also good to have a mix of showing your personality, showing, just doing a selfie video. I'm not even kidding when I say those are probably Tanya's highest performing videos, are when she just has, and you can get, you can get equipment for super cheap on like Amazon and at Marshall's, of like a phone stand with the ring light and like the whole shebang. So she'll use that, or she'll just hold it. But it's a really, really great way to show your personality. And InShot, the reason she likes using it for that, and I really like it too, is you can add backgrounds. So you can add like a fun pattern in the background. You can do text pop-ups. You can add a watermark. So you can actually, like, if you have a logo, you can upload it to InShot, which is, it's an app. I don't think you can do it on the computer. But you can add your watermark to all of your videos. You can have your text pop up like at certain times. You can do sound effects, like Tanya's done some funny sound effects before. So it's really a chance for you to just kind of like go wild. So that's InShot. Once again, there's a learning curve to it. I'll be honest. All the ones I talk about, there is a learning curve. So it's just you gotta spend some time messing around with it. The nice thing is, and this goes for all of these, they all work with like pre-recorded content. So you don't have to worry about sitting in the app and coming up with something. Like if you've filmed a video ever, you can use that app to jazz it up. So the one thing to note, because it is free, there's like a little InShot watermark on it too. I don't think anybody really cares that that's on there. Another person that's recently used it is Jelena. So if you go to Jelena Mo's Instagram, she's done it too. And you can kind of tell like there's like the way the videos are laid out and then the InShot little watermark. So if you do want to see examples, like I said, I'll show you Tanya's at the end here, but then check out Jelena's. She's done it. I think Ashley Christosimo, she maybe used it as well. So if you want to have fun, if you want to really go wild with it, InShot's the way to go. Another very popular one, and I'm sorry to say it's only for Apple users, is iMovie. So anybody with an iPhone automatically has iMovie. If you have a Mac, I don't, so I'm kind of jealous of people who have a Mac. If you have a Mac, you can also use it on your computer. So like because like for me, editing things on my phone isn't always my favorite because I like, having a mouse and more control and all that. So if you have a Mac, get the iMovie like app for your, for your computer. And it's going to make your life super easy. So where I would differentiate iMovie a little bit is if you're looking to do more of the professional style video editing. So you can do the standard like cutting and like pasting isn't the right word, but like cutting clips, putting them together, doing that whole thing. Also a fun fact, iMovie is used by actual movie producers, which I didn't know. I mean, probably not for everything, but I thought that was pretty fascinating that it's like that high level that people can use it, but they created it with like an average user in mind. So to make it pretty straightforward and user friendly. Some of the things that you can do with that I like is it can add subtitles just via like you're talking. So that's something that Tanya specifically has used it for, which is really nice. You can add, music, sound effects, text, similar to some of the other ones, but it's not going to have, like the funny little pop-ups or like the twirly backgrounds and like stuff like that. So that's why I say like InShot more for like goofy, fun, whimsical. iMovie more if you maybe did like your own listing video or like a more professional video that you just want to like cut some clips on. Maybe a little bit simpler, but yeah, just remember too, it's only for Apple products. Kind of a bummer there. But it's just really nice that you can use it pretty easily, not just for high-end movie producers. A couple others. So Canva, you've all heard me talk about Canva. Canva now has video functionality, which is pretty cool. So I haven't worked with it a ton, I'll be honest. It's on my to-do list. But they do have some like kind of background clips that you can use. So if you wanted to create your own video and add text to it, and maybe it's more of like an informational video. So like the definition of what is like, you guys, you want to hear something so embarrassing? I literally learned what HELOC stood for yesterday, and I work for a mortgage company. So I'm sure I'm not the only person that doesn't know what that is. But you could do like a definition series and just have like a fun background and then like have the text pop up. So you can do that in Canva now, which is pretty cool. Canva also has some fun little like they call them what do they call them? It's just like in the elements section of Canva, they have like little moving ones. So like little stars that twinkle or like lines that show up. Like, so you can add elements like that too. And even create like in your graphics themselves. So actually the graphic I made for this class has like that little moving line in it. So you can do super simple stuff like that too. So Canva is a great option. There is a paid version of Canva. I don't even use it. Because I'm cheap. So I've always just used the free version, and I can still utilize those functions with the free version. And then the last one that I want to talk about, and obviously there's a ton out there. So if you just Google like video editing apps, you're going to find a ton of paid ones. You're going to find a bunch of free ones. These are just the ones that I personally use and see people use the most and find to be user friendly. But the last one I want to talk about is actually Instagram itself. So I'll deep dive into Instagram a little bit more in a bit and like what it's used for, but Instagram when it comes to and Facebook, I suppose for this one as well, you can do live. So we're all familiar. We've seen people do Facebook, Instagram lives, for our office and things like that. So that's an option. You can do IGTV, which is basically just when you're uploading a longer video to Instagram, it's considered IGTV. You can do stories, which are usually super cute, short clips. And you can do reels now, which is like my personal current favorite. So in Instagram itself, you can do a lot of editing. So stories, if you're doing any Instagram stories, it has the GIF. You can add polls. You can add, the date and time, the location. You can add other people. Like you can do so many like cutesy, fun editing features in stories itself. And to be honest, you don't even have to use it in your story. You can just do all the editing and then download it and save it to your phone if you want to use it. I don't know why you wouldn't use it on your story, but if you want to do the editing. In reels you can do like combine a bunch of short clips, add a bunch of fun features to it. IGTV, you're not really adding or editing anything. That's just uploading the video. So I won't like touch on that a lot, but it's just nice that you can jazz up some super simple videos in Instagram itself, especially if you're planning on using them on Instagram. So those are probably the ones that I would say I see the most, I use the most. I will also mention as well, I'm about to deep dive into YouTube, but you can edit within YouTube as well. That's not my preferred form of editing, but it is an option, especially if you do like the option to edit on a computer versus a phone. Anybody here, have you used other apps that you really like, or any questions on some of the ones I've already talked about?
Can I ask what's your, do you have a preferred like non-Apple desktop or laptop option? I think I used Movie Player in the past, but I've got a Windows laptop, but I have an iPhone. And so obviously those
Sure.
two don't jive, but sometimes using iMovie is really good, but I'm limited to my phone and I
Sure.
kind of would like to see something bigger on my bigger screen.
Sure. So personally speaking, I don't do any editing on my computer, but I can 100%, I will ask my coworkers who I know some of them do prefer to do it that way. But I will say YouTube does have pretty good editing functions, but obviously the caveat there is you have to have a YouTube account, which actually perfectly leads me into the next topic. But that is definitely an option if you want to do it on a computer. But like I said, I'll ask. So we have a videographer that works for our company. He uses obviously some super advanced stuff, but he also has a lot of good recommendations for simpler, cheaper, free options to use on a computer as well. So I will follow up with you on that, Jennifer. Any other questions?
So you do all of your editing on your phone for your videos?
Yeah. Yep. And for me personally, like if they're my own or if it's like one for Tanya or something like that, I think the reason for me is that a lot of them I take on my phone. Ones that our videographer does, the nice thing is he does a lot of the editing. But the other benefit of that too is that like if it's something professional sent to me in an email, I'm probably going to want to do it on my computer. I just personally haven't gone that route. So I almost always do it on the phone. It's not ideal if you don't like it, like I don't like creating graphics and things like that on my phone. So I could see like, it's kind of funny that I do almost all of it on my phone, but the apps, while there is a learning curve, you do get used to them pretty quickly, in my opinion.
What kind of phone do you have?
I have an iPhone. I have a 11.
Okay.
I think. I don't even know anymore.
And like all of Tanya's little videos that we see,
Yep.
those are all selfie videos that she's done herself and edited. A lot of them.
A lot of them. So like, and you can tell the difference. So
yeah, you can tell the difference. But
so that is a perfect. I will show you that video now.
Okay.
Instead of waiting to the end, because I think that'll give like a clear idea of like, and hers have a lot of editing to them. You don't have to go as far as she does in regards to like how much she does pizzazz. But if you know Tanya, you know that's her personality. So it just like, you see that and you think Tanya. If you, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, this one's done by her, not by your
Yes.
videographer.
This is done by her. Yep.
Okay.
So this is the one, you may have seen it. The topic is kind of funny. This was for Valentine's Day. Okay. I want to please let me know if you can't hear it.
Can't hear it.
Sound.
How do I do that?
Okay, I'll tell you how to do it. You go
Okay.
to share. And when you're in share screen, okay, you're gonna go at the top. There's this second one over. I can't do it while you're doing it, so I can't.
Okay,
tell.
let me. Oh, no, don't want to do that. Okay, I'll stop my share. Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can share. So the next screen over is advanced. So when you click share, you're at the top, it's basic or advanced. If you click on advanced, and then you click on computer audio, and then you click share.
It doesn't give me a computer audio option.
On advanced, does it?
It says PowerPoint is virtual background, portion of screen, music or computer sound only, or content from second camera. Huh. I want you guys to see this.
Okay, hold on. So under basic, you select your screen, and then under advanced, you do, I see PowerPoint, portion of screen, computer audio, content from second. Click content from, let me see, maybe I did. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
It says you're sharing computer sound, and now you can go back and add sharing your screen. Go ahead, hon.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, no.
Why?
Is it a setting that needs to be done when you're setting up the Zoom call? Because I've ran into this before with some of the stuff I've done with people.
Ooh, you guys. It's funny and I want you to see it. Okay.
Okay, can you send it to me and I'll see if I can do it?
Yes, yes. I have a couple I might send you then.
Is this kind of like a before editing and after editing, or is it just a
No,
video
so
you're showing
this
us?
one is very edited. It is, yeah, it
That's
is
great.
absolutely
see.
edited. Okay, so Wendy, I'm sending you 3. This is the first link. Thank you for your help with that. This is obviously not a problem I've run into on Zoom before.
All right.
I was curious to see how that was going to work because I've run into this problem many times and I haven't been able to figure out how to fix it. Although I think somebody told me it was maybe something that needed to do when you set up the Zoom call.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Or
Okay, hold on. Let's just hold on here, people. Okay. I'm going to click the share screen. Computer audio share.
Owning
I hear
a
it.
3-bedroom single-family home
I don't see it
would
though,
cost
Wendy.
less and be more affordable than renting.
The sound is gone again. It was playing before. Why does technology not want to work for us?
Is it working now?
No. Okay, well, here's the deal. I have a list of everybody who's on the call.
Then
So I will just send
renting
them to
a
you
3-bedroom
after.
home in 63%
Now I
of
can
the
hear
United
it.
States.
Can you see it?
Hello. So let's be real. You need your space. You and your apartment just aren't right for each other anymore. So if you're ready to break up with that apartment and go into home ownership, well, you just give me a
This
call.
is comforting
We'll
to
take
hear
care of
that
you.
this happens to
Just
other
have one more
people.
thing.
Do you have advanced
afford
settings
about
on
topic.
side of your Zoom side? Because it says that you have to allow audio live streams.
How about here?
Tanya with New American Funding. And I know that Valentine's Day is coming up, and so we should be talking about love and hearts and all those fun things. But I'm here to talk to you about a breakup. And that would be a breakup with your rent. Because according to a new report from Adam Data Solutions, owning a 3-bedroom single-family home would cost less and be more affordable than renting a 3-bedroom home in 63% of the United States. Hello. So let's be real. You need your space. You and your apartment just aren't right for each other anymore. So if you're ready to break up with that apartment and go into home ownership, well, you just give me a call. We'll take care of you. And we'll just add one more thing. Then you can maybe afford a box of chocolate, you know, the really good kind. And who doesn't like chocolate?
Okay, thank you, Wendy.
She's so cute.
As you saw, Tanya likes the editing. Tanya goes hard with the editing. But for her, like, that's so her personality. And so that's not going to be for everybody. Don't feel like you have to do like super, super intense editing for all the videos you do. But she did that with InShot. So I also want you guys, write it down, take a look at it, go to Jelena Mo's Instagram, because she has done one as well. She was doing some videos for her food drive, and I think she may have done one on another subject as well. But it's just a good look at what the different, like, Tanya literally used every single feature of InShot that you could have possibly used. She used the backgrounds, she used the sound effects, she used the little GIF pop-up, she used filters, like all of it. So that is just an example of literally all of the things that you can do with that one app. So
any clue how long that would have taken her?
That was my question.
So if I had to guess, and I can ask her too, but I would probably guess 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because, she's used it, so obviously take it with a grain of salt. You know, she's done it before, but you know, like, once you get used to the functionality, if you have an idea in mind, and like I said, she did every effect you could do. So a lot of the time you're probably you might keep it simple. You might just film yourself and add like your logo to the video, which is a huge benefit of using something like InShot and being able to add that feature to it. Or even like you can create, like, we created a frame in Canva where it's like, if you've ever seen her Instagram, we have like the lines and then it has her contact info along the bottom. So like there's so many different things you can do with it. And once you've started like doing enough of them and get used to the functionality, it really shouldn't take terribly long. But yeah, whenever she does those videos of like, you can tell it's her taking it. She posted one in like an Otsego community group about low rates once, and it was like her best performing video in forever. So it's a cool example of, you know, especially too, I think, video, part of the reason people get intimidated by it is it feels like you have to be so professional and so perfect, but it's the not professional and not perfect, not professional, but like, you know what I mean? It's not super stuffy. And you know, some of the goofier ones and things like that, just people love it. Yes, Jennifer.
Do you have to use or record in the app on that one, or can you can upload pieces of video that you did, like one video that you prepare if you're out and about and you take some video and then you bring it home and then bring it in? Okay.
Absolutely. And that goes for iMovie, that goes for InShot, that goes for Instagram. All of those you can use pre-recorded content, which is really nice because, like, to your point, you don't necessarily have to want to be in the app dealing with that. If maybe you're at a listing and it has really funny wallpaper and you want to take a video of it, I don't know. But yeah, all of those you can use pre-recorded video. So if you took a video of yourself 6 months ago, you could use that in the editing apps. It doesn't matter. It can be anything you've made. So now I'm going to share my screen again. Oh, Christine, did you have a question?
No, I think that was a message that I got something else.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and now I'm going to talk about YouTube. And Terry, this might be a little repetitive for you because you've heard some of this, but I know this is... Are you
kidding? By the 5th time, I'll start getting it.
Perfect. They do say that I don't quote me on the stat because I don't know where I heard it, but like If you take like the same class or watch the same movie or do something like that, like you learn new things every time. So that's a benefit to rewatching things. So YouTube, it's not just going to talk about YouTube. I'm also, and as you can see, I have my notes here. So this is now about hosting, and hosting is very important for a multitude of reasons. One is just they allow you to keep kind of, an organized library of content, like help keep you a little more organized. I know personally, like the files I just have saved on my computer are a mess. It's like on my forever to-do list to organize them. But so this is just kind of a nice way of keeping track of your video content. And then also a very, very important reason why you're going to host a video is if you ever want to embed them anywhere else. You can't just, most of the time you can't do it just by uploading. It's not going to work that way. So what I mean by that is like, say you want to send, like I'm a MailChimp gal, same thing goes for command email. If you want to embed a video in an email blast, it has to be hosted somewhere. You can't just upload it. It won't work. You have to have like a YouTube link, or Vimeo is another big one. So that is literally like with those main emailing tools, at least the ones that I've used, the only way you can embed video in an email. Another reason that it's beneficial is like with YouTube specifically, they give you like the coding necessary to be able to embed. Typically with those email tools, all you have to do is copy and paste a link. But say you want to embed a video into like your website, which command websites are a different ball game. I'll have to test it a little bit more. But I know with like a lot of tools like that, where you are able to embed something custom, the nice thing with YouTube, like if I click on this one, you guys can all see my YouTube, right? Tanya's YouTube. So the nice thing about this is under all of your videos, if you click share, you click embed, it gives you the coding. Like, I don't know how to code. I'm envious of people that know how to do it. I'm not one of those people. So I like that they give you everything you need to do. So we could take this code, and if your website, like sadly, our loan officer websites don't have it as an option to custom embed, but some do. So if that is an option for you, or anywhere that asks for specific coding to be able to like make stuff a little more advanced, YouTube makes it really easy by just straight up having it all written out for you. You also heard me mention something called Vimeo. So Vimeo, I would say, is probably behind YouTube, probably like the second most popular video hosting website. There are some key differences between the two though. And I don't recommend, doing both, like trying to keep that up for multiple hosting sites would honestly be exhausting. Ain't nobody got time for that. So what I recommend, if I had to choose, I'm going to say YouTube. Hands down 100%, and here's why. So both YouTube and Vimeo are free to an extent. Chances are you are never going to use up your YouTube storage space. You have people on here who do massive amounts of videos every week. I would love for you guys to do that, but I'm not expecting it necessarily in terms of like the amount of content some people put out there. So chances are you're not going to go above that limit, whereas Vimeo definitely has more limited storage space. So if you did start to get more active with your video marketing and where you're hosting your videos and things like that, you might hit that snag at some point in regards to running out of storage space. The other biggest comparison is the audience. So Vimeo does have a pretty big audience, but it is nowhere near YouTube, nowhere, like not even minimally comparable. So YouTube being so popular, it just means, more of a chance for your videos to be seen further. I also think there's a comfort level with YouTube, whereas like a lot of people, especially if you're not in marketing, have never even heard of Vimeo. So there's that. The nice thing with YouTube too, is you have different, security settings or safety settings for your videos. You can have public videos. So that just means they're searchable. People can find them. They're in the feed, yada, yada, yada. You can do private, which basically means like it's a video just seen by you or by people who you give like specific permission to. So like if you just, I don't really know why you would do that. But if it's for the organization purpose and you just want it on there, like go for it. Or maybe it's for editing purposes, because you can edit videos on YouTube. So maybe you're not ready for it to be published yet and you want to come back and edit it more. Maybe that's why you'd make it private. And then the last option is unlisted. And what unlisted is basically like, it's not just like it like publicly searchable and all that. You can only access it if you've been given a link. So maybe you're doing an event that's like limited to a specific group of people. I don't know. Or you just don't want it available to the public. Like it's like super specific. I'll give you an example. So my marketing department has filmed like short tutorial videos on like how to do things in Command, how to update your Facebook page, like these different things that, you know, if somebody has a question on, I can send to them. We don't really want to make those public because they're not really relevant outside of, you know, especially our Keller agents. And so we have those unlisted, meaning if we send somebody the link, they can watch it over and over and over again. But unless you have that link, you're never going to find it. So there are a few times where a private or an unlisted video might be a good option. Terry, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, can you make that switch? Can you easily switch it from public to, okay.
Absolutely. And I can show you how to do that. They make it super, super simple, which is great because I like things that are user friendly. Another huge benefit to YouTube, probably the biggest in my opinion, is they're owned by Google, if you didn't know that. And Google loves Google, AKA they're going to love if you have a YouTube page. So it is going to be so good for your search engine optimization, which just gets me all jazzed because it's so important. So by just having a YouTube page that's active, that's, you know, has your information on it, all that good stuff, that is absolutely going to help your search engine optimization. If you have your YouTube page like link embedded in, you know, your email and other websites and Facebook and Instagram and like all these different things, that's going to help with your search engine optimization. It's fabulous. Or it's like, you know, when you sometimes if you Google, like what's something I've Googled, how to replace your windshield wipers. I have absolutely Googled that. Typically the first result for something like that is videos. It's people who videotape themselves doing that. So say you do a video series on like how to, how to
change your sprinkler system in your yard.
Thank you,
Terry. I watched
that. See? Yeah. So you guys, you know, it doesn't have to necessarily even be like real estate, perfectly like aligned in real estate. Like that to me is relevant because it's about your home. Like it can be about like a helpful tip, things like that. Like that super helps your search engine optimization, especially when people are searching for things like that. Another benefit, so you can see here, and honestly, I need to be better about this. There are a lot of things I need to be better about with YouTube because it's one of those things that's like there's a lot to it. But it's how you incorporate keywords, how you title things. Those are other great ways of boosting your search engine optimization just by having your YouTube. So for example, what I've seen people do in like the information about their video is incorporate keywords. So search terms. This is how people's videos are showing up in Google, is by properly titling them, properly incorporating keywords into the descriptions. What I have literally seen some people do, which this is one of those things where I'm like, that I just don't have the time, is they get a full transcript. And I personally have not found a free way to do this. They get a full transcript of their entire video and they put that in the description. The reason behind that is literally for keywords and just having a lot of information in there. Yes, Terry.
You can go to rev.com.
Rev.com and it's free?
Yeah. Well, nope. You pay $1 per minute. I mean, it's just not so stupid cheap.
Sure. Okay. So it's still affordable because I love affordable.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm with you, girl. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yeah. So the search engine optimization part is just, to me, what takes YouTube and just crushes Vimeo. Vimeo does not have that kind of like leg to stand on, especially considering like search engine, most people are using Google anyway. So utilizing more Google tools, the more you do, the more they, promote you because they're selfish. So another reason that is just, if you're going to host your video somewhere, I personally recommend YouTube. Along with that, I will show you. So you can create like essentially like a business profile for your YouTube. So you can create your own channel. There are compliance aspects that you'll want to be aware of. I have them all written out somewhere. So if you want information about what that looks like for example, there's always like the one click away rule where you want to make sure like in your about section for Tanya, like one click away, her brokerage or our like company information, our NMLS, like all those different things. So it's very similar to the content you would include on like a Facebook page. So making sure your logo is somewhere. So like, shame on me, I should actually probably put our logo in her cover photo. You can have a cover photo, you can have a headshot in here, you can, do all those things very similar to Facebook. A tip with the cover photo, you can find templates in Canva for YouTube. The weird thing with YouTube though, is you only see that super thin line. So on a desktop, this is what your cover is going to look like. It's going to be even tinier, I can't show you what my hands are doing, but it's going to be like an even tinier section on a phone and a huge section on a TV. So if you're looking at those cover photo templates in Canva, you're going to be very confused why like all of the primary information is right teeny tiny in the very middle. There's a purpose behind that. So keep that in mind if you are creating a cover photo for your YouTube channel. That didn't pull up what I wanted. And you can also include links, like you can see here, I have a link to Tanya's website. We have a link to her Facebook page, to her Instagram. So there's a lot of cool things you can do to optimize your profile in here, and just keeping in mind, the compliance pieces. So like I said, if you want more info on that, shoot me an email and I'll send you the whole shebang. That also goes for content. So be very careful with your video content if it features other people. So like, you just want to make sure like nobody's going to be mad at you if you uploaded it to like report you or anything like that. Like our company is so strict, and if we ever have somebody else in a video, we have to make them sign like a form, and it's a whole process. You don't have to go that far. Just make sure it's somebody that you know and trust and all that good stuff. If you're doing videos of listings, making sure you're keeping the family safety in mind. So there's no family photos, there's no like dead giveaways of personal information, things like that. So it's just a few things to keep in mind. When it comes to customizing your channel, like I said, you can add a headshot, you can add that banner image. So when you're adding the banner image, they'll even tell you like what it's going to look like on phone, desktop, TV. You can add a video watermark that appears on all of your videos. So that makes life really easy if you want to add your logo there. You can go in, add all of your, compliance info, add a bio, add your URLs, your links, tons of good stuff. So make sure if you are using YouTube that you take the time to go in there and update it so that all of your information is visible, easy to find. You'd be surprised how often that is not a thing. So just one of those things you want to keep in mind. And with your channel as well, the nice thing is, you do have a lot of control over things in regards to, like you can create playlists for your videos, so you can see these talks with Tanya. Terry's featured in a few of these. So you can find I created a playlist that's called Talks with Tanya. So if I go here, people can watch, every single video in a row. So you can really, really like hone in and organize your videos in a really great way. And then if you want to add a video to your channel, you'll just go to manage videos, and then it's going to load. I have no patience for the internet ever. Come on. Okay. So now once you're here, so I can see, all of our different videos. Tanya just did this one. This is actually a custom one she did where I'll have to ask her, what tool she used for this, but she took her business card information, and then where her photo would be, she put her face. How cute. That's so smart. So if you want to, oh yeah, go Terry.
Sorry, Mary. I was just wondering, how did you get to manage your...
If you're in your channel, there's a manage videos button. And then this is where it takes you. So anytime you're just in your channel directly, and you can always under here, just go to content. But from your dashboard, there will be a big blue manage videos button.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So now that I'm here, I can see all of my different videos. And then if you want to add one, you just up here in the top right, click create. You can also go live on YouTube in case you didn't know. I would say it's like, if you're going to go live somewhere, do it where you have a bunch of followers. Like you're probably not going to, we have no subscribers to Tanya's YouTube channel, so we're probably not going to go live here. Unlike Facebook where we have like tons of friends and whatnot. So in this situation, we're probably almost always going to upload videos. Select your file. Let's see if I have one I can upload right away. I guarantee you we do. Let's do. Okay. Myth or fact, first step to buying a home. This is just how I have it. The name, title is always how you have it saved in your files. So now I'm just going through here. How you title it does matter because you really want to consider what people are searching for. So just keep that in mind. You definitely, like, I would not have kept what this was originally called with like this full link. I mean, nobody's searching for all those letters. In your description, you're going to explain what the video is about. Once again, incorporate those keywords as much as possible. I'm not going to do this all right now. I'll come back to it and edit it later. But then as it's uploading, it does take a minute, but you get different video thumbnails to choose from. So this is basically whatever you want the primary image to be is that thumbnail. You can also do a custom thumbnail. So if I don't like the options they're giving me, I can do my own.
Could you get a thumbnail from your video and just kind of scroll through?
If you want to do it that way, you're going to have to like watch, and when it gets to the point, you're going to have to screenshot it. Like there's not, I haven't found an easier way to do that. Or like if you say you do a video series, like for Tanya's, we could have done like there's like a Talks with Tanya screen. We could have done that for every single one if we wanted to. So if you do a series, maybe you do it that way. Marty Miller, he's a perfect example. He has his thumbnails. If you've ever watched like his 66-day challenges, he's very, very, what is the word I'm looking for? Very
intentional.
Yes, that's the one. Thank you. He's very intentional with his thumbnails. So you can follow that route. You can just kind of let them happen as you want. But after that, you can select a playlist. So like you are Talks with Tanya, 10 Days of Lending. You can have as many playlists as you want. The benefit of playlists too is, so say somebody is watching one of your videos, like in our case, maybe it's a Talks with Tanya. The next video will be whatever else is in that playlist. So it gives you a way of kind of controlling the order in which people watch your videos. The other benefit being, I'm sure we've all been here. Has anybody else been down like a YouTube rabbit hole where you start one place and you end up in like, you've been watching them for 30 minutes and you're like, what am I doing with my life? You can cause that for people to just watch 3 hours of your video content because it's so interesting. So playlists are great for that, just to, like I said, have control over how that's happening. Audience, if it's not like, I'm pretty much never going to say it's for kids because I don't know, it's just not, that's not my audience. So it's just, them protecting kids. They're not going to like show it if they're probably like age restrictions and things like that. But typically I just kind of skip that. You can do tags. You can do paid promotions on YouTube.
Mary?
Sorry,
quick question. On the playlist, can you just keep adding to those? So if you do a series, you just keep adding it to the next one. Do you have to number them at all?
Nope.
They're just in order.
So like our talks with Tanya, I like all of my titles were so similar that like I did episode 1, episode 2. Like you don't have to do that as long as you're, you know, changing the title, but all you do is in this playlist, like this playlist could go on forever, honestly. I have not seen a limit to how many, like I said, Marty Miller, he has a bajillion in all of his playlists. But just as you go through, just follow, all of these are pretty straightforward. I honestly kind of skip all this bottom stuff when I upload YouTube videos because it just doesn't, not super relevant. But if you're more careful than me, then by all means. So this is where you can add some editing functionality. You can add like an end screen if you want to do like contact info at the end and you didn't add it already. And then this is where you can get to the point where you can choose right off the bat whether you want something private, unlisted, public. If you want to schedule it to go out at a specific time, I think that's mostly for people who like are like YouTube stars. They probably use the scheduling feature. I don't. I just say, yep, upload it. And then at that point, you can save it. I'm gonna let her happen. Oh, did not pick one. Okay, now I'm gonna click publish. Does not take long to publish at all. It's already done. Each video has its own link. You can share them. You can do whatever you want with them. To Terry's earlier question, is it easy to edit? Yes, it is so easy to go back in and change something. So if you want to retitle something or you want to add more to the description, in your channel content, you just press the little details button next to whatever video. And then I, for the visibility, can change it to whatever I want. So a video that I maybe have unlisted at one point or waiting or, you know, any of those things I can come back to, etc. So that's YouTube. YouTube itself, like that, this is only a very, very high level overview because I still have more I need to talk about. But if you wanted to deep dive into YouTube further, like go into more to do with like uploading, editing, like doing your playlist, all that good stuff, customizing your channel, let me know. That's absolutely something we can meet one-on-one about. But I just really wanted to point out like the basic functionality of it and also talk about why it's so important because there are absolutely huge benefits to having a YouTube channel. And something I kind of look at it as too is like, it's not going to hurt you in any way having more video content on there. So it, you know, video's uncomfortable, but like if you're throwing it out there anyway, put it on your YouTube channel. It's going to be great for your search engine optimization. It's just good. Also, I'll throw out, so there's an agent, she's out of the Lakes office. Her name is Mary Schumann. She has a very popular YouTube channel. So if you want to see another example of somebody a little closer to home, who's done really well on YouTube, she's a great one, super entertaining, and she's straight up said she's gotten clients from it. So it is possible. Yes, Terry.
How do you spell her last name just to look her up?
It's SCHUMANN.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So, and also when in doubt, and I say this for social media, I say this for everything, like see what other people are doing. Don't plagiarize, but you know, that's a great way of getting ideas for maybe stuff that you want to do. So keep that in mind. So then the last thing that I really, really want to focus on, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we're going to do kind of like a discussion again, is the social media side of things, because we've talked about YouTube, but that's like its own separate, like
animal.
Entity, animal, whatever. It's its own ball game. So I think, you know, having the YouTube channel, your brain might be saying, okay, so I should just be sharing my YouTube videos to social media. No, that's not what I'm going to tell you. So when it comes to YouTube, absolutely be using it, uploading it, utilize for embedding in emails or embedding in your website, like those different things. But when it comes to different social media channels, and I mean, Google's the same way, they love themselves. So when you, like if you're posting video, let's say Facebook, instead of copying and pasting a YouTube link, you are going to want to upload the video to Facebook, because these social media channels don't want you directing people away from them. So it's like if you're using a YouTube link, Facebook knows like, okay, this person's leaving, they're going to YouTube, I don't want that. If the video is embedded into Facebook, what we have seen and what I've heard is that they perform better because you are not directing people away from Facebook. And so it's just like kind of a rule of thumb that I've stuck with, in that if it's on YouTube, great, make that its own thing, email, embedding, all that good stuff. If it's on social media, upload it directly to that channel. Kind of a pain in the butt. However, it's just, if you want to see the
That's
best,
valuable to know.
if you want to see the best bang for your buck on each individual like program, that's the way to do it. The nice thing, so then talking about social media channels specifically and maybe where they differ, so you can upload videos to Facebook, you can use them on Instagram, you can also use them on LinkedIn, in case if you didn't know that. But so like Facebook, for example. So Facebook, you have different options. You can do a Facebook Live. A couple people have done Facebook Lives before. You can upload them, which is what I just talked about. When you upload them, you can also do what's called a premiere. You can't do this if you're just copying and pasting from YouTube. But when you upload, you can set up premiere, which, like, you know, when somebody does a Facebook Live, you get a notification like this person is live on Facebook. A premiere works the same way. So it's almost, honestly, if you're posting a video to your Facebook, you almost always should do a premiere, just that everybody gets notified that it's happening. So that's a really good option, especially, I mean, maybe you don't want to do it every time because you don't want to be like annoying or anything. But if you have a video that like you worked really hard on, you're really excited about, you're really passionate about, set it as a premiere. People will get notified that, you know, it's happening. It's not live, like you're not necessarily on a Facebook Live, but the notification is a huge benefit. So let me just see. The nice thing with Facebook too is all of your videos are in like a designated spot. So if you have a business page specifically, so if you have your business page and you add videos to it, there's going to be like in your little menu of items, a videos tab. So somebody can go in and watch all of your videos if you want, similar to like a YouTube playlist, I guess. So that's really great. I'm trying to think what else with Facebook. I mean, with Facebook, and I mean pretty much any social media, you can track 3-second views, 10-second views, average viewing time, you know, like all those different things. But like I said, if it, just from what I have seen and what I have heard, if you want your video to perform better, make sure it's uploaded, not copied and pasted from YouTube. Does that make sense? So then that's Facebook. Instagram is probably my favorite when it comes to what you can do with video. And this is kind of what I already touched on. So like you have your stories. The content you put in your stories is not going to be the same content you have like in your regular feed. It's a lot of the time, it's more like day in the life kind of stuff or something funny or just like a little more casual, like short clips. You add, like I said, you add a poll to it or you add some effects to it or, you know, you have fun with it. Those stories also go away after 24 hours. So it's not, you're not going to find them in your feed forever. That's just not how it works. So if you want them, like say you film some good ones and like, or like you do series, like I've seen people do like home tours via the Instagram story. So maybe you want to keep those around for people to watch later. You have to create highlights in your profile. So if you've ever gone to, especially like influencers profiles, they all have them. They have pretty little buttons for every single theme. You can create those pretty little buttons in Canva. So Tanya actually has custom ones as well. So that's stories. So that's one ball game. Then you have content that you're uploading to your feed. So a lot of the time that's going to be, it can either be just like short little snippets. If it's under 60 seconds, it'll be like in your main Instagram grid, as they call it. If it's above 60 seconds, it's considered IGTV, meaning part of it will play in your feed, but like if you go to your profile, it's not going to be in that main grid. It's going to be in its own IGTV tab. So basically, there's nothing wrong with having videos above 60 seconds, like nothing wrong with it at all. They're just going to show up like later to come back to it in two different places. Yes, Terry.
Will people be able to see that or do they have to go to the IGTV?
So when you post it, it is in the feed, but it's just like, if somebody starts watching it, they'll get like to continue watching.
Oh,
here, you know, so then it takes them to that separate spot. And then, so say like a week later, somebody goes to your profile, you'll have, if you have any of those videos longer than 60 seconds, you'll have an IGTV tab in your profile. And then people can see all of your long videos. So you can do, you know, any length of video you want. It doesn't really matter. That it's just, like I said, they show up later in 2 different places. Another thing to note, similar to Facebook, you can do Instagram Live. So if you want, it doesn't work with Facebook, so you can't do the same live via both. I have seen people, if they have access to 2 phones, do it at the same time with literally 2 different, like, or like, I guess you could do it on a computer too if you have like a webcam. So there are workarounds, but at that point I would just say like do them at 2 different times, maybe. I don't know. That seems like a lot of work, but you can do it on Instagram. It is another option. Then lastly, and probably like what jazzes me up right now, are Reels. So do any of you watch Reels? They're like, they're a time suck, you know, it's like YouTube. It's when you just get like caught up in it. So I'm going to try to show you. So I have no idea what's showing up in my feed right now. Okay. So it's kind of hard to see. Let's see if my camera can focus on it. Okay. It's this button right in the middle. So if I click on that, it's like TikTok videos. So then it just takes me through. I can like swipe up. Okay. I want to come on. Oops. So then I can just like go to the next one. Go to the next one. Like they're just on a bunch of random stuff. And the thing with Reels is there is a huge opportunity to be found on Instagram when it comes to Reels, because it's like Instagram's new baby. Like that's what they're prioritizing. They have their own button. And it's basically like, if you've ever watched TikToks, the kids love them. I don't know. I never got into TikTok, but it's basically the same concept. So like you create short little snippets. A lot of time they're funny, or like they're like, that's where, have you guys heard of the TikTok pasta? Like the feta pasta? Okay, well, first of all,
yeah,
I made it.
Wasn't there a vodka pasta as well?
Oh, I guarantee. Yep. Yeah. But so it's like people will make goofy recipes, or they'll like, and then all of a sudden these trends happen and like people blow up. So the content though is going to be a little bit different. Like think more along the lines of like stories, where it's like fun and goofy, and it doesn't have to be like a professionally shot video, because it's, like I said, typically short snippets. Or when it comes to real estate, which like not a lot of realtors are using it, you guys. I've seen people do like a home walkthrough where they highlight, here are the top 3 coolest features of this house, and they show the fireplace, and then they show the walk-in closet, and then they show the hot tub. I don't know. And yes, Terry.
Sorry, but like with those kind of things, how do they smash 3 separate videos?
I'm so glad.
I'm just setting you up.
Yeah, I love it. So with Reels, you can do the same concept of like uploading something you've pre-filmed. So maybe you did that and you edited and you cut those videos in iMovie, and then you upload it to Reels. Or if you want to, in the Reels like section itself, you can film one 15-second snippet, then a 5-second snippet, then a 5-second snippet, then a 5-second snippet, and they're all their own little like pieces. So Reels has its own kind of like little editing functions, and then what you can do is you can like have text pop up at different times. So that's like your main header is like the main image of the house, and it's 3 coolest features of this house. Then it changes to the fireplace. Number 1, fireplace. Goes to the walk-in closet. 2, walk-in closet. 3, hot tub. So like you have a lot of cool editing functions, and you can use some of the same like fun things. So like the GIFs and the text and the goofy stuff that you find in Instagram stories, you can use those same editing features in Reels. And just to give you an idea of why they're beneficial. So like Tanya and I did one because, you know, we're trying to keep up with what the cool things are. And hers was just a simple 3 steps to getting pre-approved. And I had her hold up 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger. So it was all technically 1 recording, but it was super short. And then we just added text to it. So if you go to her Instagram, you can see this. It's in its own little Reels tab of her profile. But So you can do that. And then we posted it and she got over like a few days, she got like 1,400 views on it, which has never happened to any of our content before. She got 11 new followers. So like, that sounds like not very much, but in my opinion, that was like, this is why we're doing it, because
it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I shocked Mary by doing one. I just have to tell you.
Oh, but it makes me so happy. And I will say I had a learning curve with Reels. Like it took me, I was Googling like how to add the text to it. So like don't feel bad if it takes you a minute, because it took me a minute to really like understand the different, like the short film snippets, how to add the text at certain times. Like my biggest recommendation, if you want to learn, and whether it's learning that, whether it's learning InShot, whether it's learning how to upload to YouTube, any of those things, like honestly, Google it. Like I'm not even kidding, because like I found so many helpful articles or YouTube videos on like how to do these things. Like I know for a fact when I was learning how to add text to Reels, I Googled how to add text to Reels. And then I just had a nice little visual example. I was like, great, on it. Now I know how to do it. We'll never have to worry about it ever again. So those, I just like, the reason I wanted to like mention that is because of the potential to get exposure. So my boyfriend's sister-in-law, she's a photographer. One of her reels went viral. I'm not gonna lie, we were in the photo, so that's kind of exciting. But it's been seen like over 500,000 times. She got like 100 new followers. Like it's like crazy, and that's not gonna happen every time. But if like I get asked like, how do you get more followers? Very loaded question. That's a way to do it. Yes, Terry.
Oops, I'm sorry, I'm the only one asking.
No, I like this. This is good.
Okay. With the Reels, the thing that makes me sad is like, does it go away after 24 hours?
So no, and yes. No, yes and no. I don't know. So no, because technically like people can find it all over. You can, like when you film a reel, I shouldn't say it goes away after 24 hours. It doesn't. It just like, it has its momentum. And then it kind of fizzles. However, it can always be found. So in a profile, if you have made a reel before, or if you go to somebody's profile and they've made a reel before, similar to IGTV, it has its own tab. So you can see every reel or any reel that somebody's ever created. For you, when you create one, you can share it to your stories and you can share it to your feed, which I recommend doing both. Like share the crap out of it, that's how it's seen. The thing to note, and something that got pointed out to us, is when you're filming one, it's taking into account like the full length of a phone, whereas like the Instagram feed is really made for the squares. So like our reel cut off like some of the text at the top that we included, and people commented thinking like it got messed up, but technically it was that's just how it is. So it's something to keep in mind if you are posting it to your feed, that it might look a little confusing. I mean, I still say do it because it's not going to hurt. And then people commented like, oh, your thing got cut off. And we're like, oh, I had no idea.
Well, I know. You know what? After I did it, I was like, I don't really give a flip. It's out there. Done. But what's the max length that you can do for a Reels?
I want to say it's
pretty short.
I think it's 30 seconds.
That's what I thought too. That's what I would have said.
Because sometimes it feels like they're a lot longer when I'm watching them, or like when you're making one, it feels like it's like taking you a million years. But yeah, it's pretty short. Like it is not a lengthy thing at all. Some different ideas I've seen. So like the home walkthrough, or like doing something where you can like have a list is really easy. So like we did the 3 steps to getting pre-approved, or like 3 best whatever's. Like maybe you do if you're around, so like Terry in your neighborhood, you could do my 3 favorite restaurants in this town. You could do something like that. And it's just a really easy way of like having separate like clips that you can put together. Other than that, like so Ashley Crisostomo in our office, she did one on her and her daughter making taquitos together, and it was super cute. And it was just like a super easy like visual of how she made them with her, and like cute stuff like that. So it doesn't even, and that's not real estate, but it's like people love that kind of content. So it doesn't, don't pigeonhole yourself into just pretty houses, you know? And that goes for any video content. Like, have some fun with it. Terry did really, really great videos for her food drive, which was awesome. Shout out to you. So like, there's so many different reasons.
They just are testimony that they don't have to be perfect, and you can look like a total goofball. That is what it's all about.
Yes, and people see your personality, like, especially when you do those like selfie videos, people see your personality shine through. So it's just like fantastic. But so I know I've kind of gone over, sorry about that, you guys. But the last couple things I'll leave you with. So obviously today wasn't about content. It was about what the heck do I do with this now that I have it? So hopefully you have some ideas. Like I said, if you have, you know, certain areas of things we talked about today that you want to deep dive into, let us know. And honestly, I'll probably rope Tanya into it too, because Tanya loves video and Tanya's good at video. But if you are wondering like where to get content, that's another thing we can talk about. You can do things with like, so our company, just giving, you know, shout out to NAF. We do have a videographer that can do co-branded videos. So like our Talks with Tanya were videos that we did with all of our Lead Extreme participants. So Terry, that's why Terry has videos with us. But it can be anybody. Like if you want to do, we've done listing videos with people. We've done, you know, like the more informational stuff like that. Super cool. And the nice thing about that is our videographer does all the editing. So that's how I get away with not having to do it most of the time. So there's that. We also have a library of pre-created content. So like tips to improve your credit score, 25 benefits of home ownership, monthly market updates, things like that, where if you're like, I know I want video content, but I don't know what to make, shoot me an email and I can send you, like, it's like a visual document of all the different topics that we can send you. So keep that in mind as well. And then keep in mind those casual ones. So like the ones Terry did for her food drive, or the one, like the Valentine's one that Tanya did. Don't be afraid to do a fun selfie video. People love them. So any other questions on all of that? Okay, cool. Well, you are free to go. Make sure to reach out to me if you have any questions. This is a topic that I get really excited about, if you haven't already noticed. So
this is awesome.
It's a fun one, and it's exciting, and there's so much that you can do with it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye,
thank
everybody.
you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thanks.